Hello and welcome to the Etsy Conversations podcast, resource episode 141. And if you're wondering where the other 120 plus episodes of the resource podcast episodes are, if you listened on Friday, you probably already know this, but if you didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and repeat it one more time. All the additional resource episodes are now available or going to be available in the Etsy community, in the Etsy Conversations podcast premium community. And for those who aren't already aware of what this is, I made an announcement that I will be launching a premium community where I offer you audio summaries of the educational articles that you get in the Etsy Seller Handbook, as well as the Etsy Success Newsletter. Now, essentially, if you have a hard time keeping up with the latest strategies and and information from Etsy for selling successfully on Etsy, then you will likely really benefit from getting membership to the Etsy Conversations podcast premium community. And the reason is that these audio summaries of the Etsy articles contain the latest strategies and techniques and information that comes directly from Etsy. So these are not my strategies. This is not me coming up with new theories. It really is me just reading the information, distilling it down for you, and then putting it in audio format so that just like you're listening to this podcast, you will listen to those as well. So essentially, I will read the emails, I will read all the articles, and then I summarize them for you. And then, like I said, I just distill them down to give you actionable steps when appropriate. And so all you have to do is listen and learn. And then when you need to, just log into your Etsy account and follow the steps I outline if it's an episode where there are some action steps that you need to take. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the information out there, I will lay everything out for you in an organized fashion and take the stress out of learning and keeping up. Right now, I am still in the process of summarizing and recording hundreds of these articles for you. And that's not a comprehensive, all-encompassing catalog of all the articles, but I did want to bulk up the library so that when you come in there, there's a lot of information already there and waiting for you. Once I finish those, the ones that I'm working on right now, I'll open the doors to this premium community, but I will continue to add more audio summaries as Etsy comes out with new educational articles and information, and to add the ones that I haven't yet put in there. So the library will continue to grow on an ongoing basis. And if you listen to the last episode, I also mentioned this because this project takes considerably more time and effort than the regular Etsy Conversations podcast that I do, where I interview an Etsy seller or someone who offers a service or something that's relevant to you. I am making these recorded summaries available only to members of the premium community, and membership to the premium community will be open to anyone who wants to join, but there is a cost. And when I launch, that cost will be $5 per month. If you want to read more about this, you can go to convome.com/read to me. And if you would like me to notify you when I open the doors, there's a form on that page at convome.com/read to me that you can fill out. I just ask for your name and your email address, and I just ask that you send me an email in the message. Just put the subject, ping me when it's ready. You don't even have to say anything in the message box. You can if you want to, but what that does is it helps me just gather all the names and email addresses of the people who want to be notified when this is ready. And a bunch of you have already filled that form out and sent me emails saying, ping me when it's ready. I love seeing those because it really motivates me to keep going and building this out for you and keep building this out for you. So if you're interested and you want to be notified when it's ready, go ahead and fill out that form, put the subject line in there, and I will ping you when it's ready. Thank you to everyone who has already expressed interest. I really appreciate you expressing interest in this project that I'm undertaking, and I just hope you know that I'm trying my hardest to make it the best community for you. All right, so now onto the episode. This is episode 141, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the top tax deductions for Etsy sellers for 2017. You will also, once you're in the premium community, be able to find this episode filed under the pricing, taxes, and finance section of within the community. And it will all make sense once I open the doors and you see how it's all organized. I have really big plans for this, so I really hope you will enjoy it. All right, so tax deductions. If you're in the United States, tax season is right now. We're in the heat of it, and you're probably in the midst of filing your taxes, or you have filed your taxes, or you've given everything over to your accountant. If you haven't, and as a handmade business owner, you file your taxes a little bit differently. So I just want to dedicate this episode to taxes. And this article actually came out, when was it? Last week, in the Etsy Success newsletter. And it's an article that was posted on the QuickBooks website. And as you know, QuickBooks is integrated into Etsy to help you with your bookkeeping and accounting. So now, first and foremost, as a business owner, you probably know this already, that you need to be diligent about your taxes to ensure that you're not losing out on possibly thousands of dollars from legitimate deductions. Now, in the United States, the IRS has stated that taxpayers often overpay on their taxes every year because they overlook potential tax breaks that they're actually entitled to. So think about this. Every business expense is a possible deduction. If you're spending money on something for your Etsy shop, it's probably deductible. Think about what you spend on promoted listings and Google ads and your supplies that you buy, or the inventory that you purchase to resell if you sell vintage or supplies. As long as it meets the IRS rule of being, quote, ordinary and necessary, it can be considered for a deduction. Now, if you're in the US and you are a self-employed individual, you should be paying your taxes quarterly. So this should apply to you throughout the year and not just right now. However, you cannot take your tax deductions quarterly, but you should be tracking them throughout the entire year just in case you get audited. And that can be very stressful. So record keeping is of the ultimate importance. Now, here are 10 tax deductions that are common for Etsy sellers to include. Number 1, vehicle expenses. And actually, they're going to be 11, not 10. Number 1, vehicle expenses. If you use your car to make runs to the post office or to pick up supplies or any other business purposes, then you can take a deduction on that, but you will need to track your actual mileage. And then at tax time, you can do one of two things. You can either take a standard deduction. As of 2017, that is 54 cents per mile driven for business purposes, or you can use the quote actual expense method. And this means that you'll need to track all your vehicle expenses. So things like maintenance costs and gas, toll charges, repairs, all that. Then you'll multiply the total by the percentage of time you use your vehicle for business. Oh, I guess at this point I should say I am not an accountant. Again, this is just a summary of an article that was in the Etsy Success newsletter that's supposed to be helpful for Etsy businesses. So always check with your accountant or whoever does your taxes for you. All right, deduction number 2, cell phone and internet. Now, the amount you deduct for these services will depend on what percentage of time you use your cell phone and your internet service solely for your business. So you must keep very accurate records. Remember, if you get audited, good record keeping can really help save you from a messy IRS situation. So another strategy that can really help here with specifically cell phone and internet usage tracking is to set and stick to self-imposed work hours. So it can be hard to just say you're only going to work from this time, a specific time to a specific time when you work at home or on a Wi-Fi connection or with your laptop, because it's easy to just pick it up and start working. But if you designate specific dedicated working hours, then it's easier for you to track how much time you use your cell phone and your internet service for business. Now, if you have a basic local phone service on the first phone line in your home, that is not deductible. So disregard that one. Deduction number 3, equipment expenses. Any equipment that you use is deductible, and this includes supplies for making your products, shipping and packing supplies for mailing your products, even a new laptop, because it's considered work-related equipment. Deduction number 4, shipping expenses. Any postage and shipping costs that are directly related to the items you sell are deductible. So as a business owner, we all know that customers love free shipping, but truly we know that shipping really is not free. So you can handle shipping deductions in one of 2 ways. One, you can either estimate your deductions based on what you paid last year, or the second thing you can do is file for shipping deductions at the end of the year. Deduction number 5, advertising fees. This includes things like promoted listings on Etsy or Google Ads, because now we can do those as Etsy sellers. If you do print advertising or even advertising on blogs, even if you get no sales from any of the ads that you run, you can still deduct the cost of running those ads. And get this, your Etsy listing fees are also deductible because they're actually considered advertising costs. So keep track of those. Deduction number 6, home office expenses. So here's how this one works. If you have a room in your home that you use exclusively and regularly for business, then you can take the home office deduction. Now, if you don't have a room that fits that criteria, then you should consider designating one as such, even if only for tax purposes. Just cordon off a section of your home or a room that's going to be your dedicated home office in order to get this deduction. So, under home office expenses, what exactly can you deduct? Well, you can deduct repairs, depreciation, utilities, homeowners insurance, cleaning costs. Yeah, I did say cleaning costs. So you can take those deductions, and this is where you really need an accountant, because they'll have to figure out exactly what percentage of those costs that you incur is applicable to the home office, based on the square footage in your house and all that. So just be aware of that. Deduction number 7, legal or professional fees. Now, if you consult attorneys or you use accountants for services that you need to run your business, then the fees that you pay to them qualify as business expenses. So anything from tax advice to tax preparation fees, or if you consult with, say, a copyright lawyer about whether you can use that Disney character in your design, what you pay them is all deductible. So, that's all deductible. Also, get this, your Etsy fees, not the listing fees, because remember, those are considered advertising fees and you'll deduct those under advertising fees. But your Etsy fees that you pay when you sell something, PayPal fees, bank fees, all those are considered professional service fees, and they also are deductible. Now, deduction number 8, education, networking, and travel. So first of all, anything you spend on education, networking, and travel must be necessary, ordinary, and related to your business. So what does this mean? It means, number 1, that you need the education. 2, you need the networking. And 3, you need to travel. So in order to maintain and you need those things in order to maintain or improve the skills that are required in your business, or if you're required by law in order to obtain or retain your licensure. Like, I guess that applies more to people with professional licenses. So here are some practical examples. If you want to offer a new product, but you have to learn a new skill to do so, to offer that product, then that's not deductible, because that education only benefits your business, but the education is not required. I know that's kind of confusing, but that's what the article says. Now, if you need education to keep up with all things Etsy related so as to maintain or improve the skills that you require to be an effective Etsy seller, then, okay, this is shameless self-promotion. You can subscribe to the Etsy Conversations premium community. And I talked about it at the beginning of the episode, so I won't go into it again. All right. Number 9, meals and entertainment. Now, you can deduct entertainment expenses, including meals, at the 50% rate limit, but these expenses must be directly associated with your business in order to qualify. So if you're treating someone to dinner or a meal or some type of entertainment, then you have to be sure that you must be talking business either during the entertainment or the meal, or immediately before or immediately after it. And then you can deduct it, but that's at the 50% rate limit. Deductions number 10, donations to charity. Any cash payments or gift contributions you make to charitable organizations or non-profit organizations are deductible if your business did not directly benefit from the donations you made. So, for example, if you make signature necklaces and you donate a pair of necklaces for a charity auction, that's deductible. On the other hand, if, for example, you buy ad space in a brochure for a nonprofit organization, you cannot deduct that as a charitable donation because your business is benefiting from the advertising. Now, say you drive your car for charitable purposes, like to go and make a donation of goods or driving to a non-profit event where you're going to be volunteering, you can take a mileage deduction at 14 cents per mile plus tolls and parking fees, etc. Again, if any of this is confusing, just take it in, be informed, but talk to an accountant and a professional. Number 11, retirement contributions. If you have a traditional IRA, you can make a full deduction, but only if you are, one, not covered by another retirement plan, and if you're married, your spouse also must not be covered by a retirement plan at work in order for this deduction to apply. Now, if you both have retirement plans from work, then your deductions for retirement contributions might be limited. Now, there is an alternative. You can choose to have an individual 401k plan, and this works the same way as a corporate 401k plan if you were doing it through an employer, except that in this case, the individual 401k plan is designed for solo entrepreneurs like Etsy sellers. And anything you contribute to your individual 401k can be deducted from your net income when you do your taxes. I hope this has been helpful to you and not extremely confusing. As always, consult a professional accountant and any other professional that you need to talk to in order to get your taxes and finances in order. I thank you for listening to this Etsy Conversations podcast resource episode number 141, and I will be back next week with a regular interview, and I think you're going to enjoy that one. So I will be back and I will see you then. Thank you for listening.